And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories twice a day, every day. It's just a flick your finger for the channel, people. Come on. Now, y'all, you know we've been following your girl, Janet Mills, the governor of Maine. She has a lot of controversy surrounding her name. Our last video about her was about allegations of corruption, not only with her, but her entire administration, stretching out to her family. So check that video out if you will. And now, y'all, what we're covering here today is that Maine, I think they see the writing on the wall, y'all. I think they're capitulating. They are starting to move back from a serious pro-immigrant stance. And I think Janet Mills, she knows she's not going to be governor again. And I think she's looking for maybe her next job. And she says, hey, you know what? Some of these radical policies might not be good for my next. Maybe she wants to run for senator or something like that. So, y'all, let's take a look at how Maine traditionally has handled migrants. And then we're going to look and see how they're backing off of that status. Take a look. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegal, Paralegold.com or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
Last night, we were the only show in all of cable news to bring you the story of hundreds upon hundreds of Congolese immigrants being dropped off in San Antonio after crossing the border. But for many of them, that is not the final stop. San Antonio's assistant city manager, Dr. Colleen Bridger, revealed this to a local CBS station. Quote, the plan was 350 of them would travel from San Antonio to Portland, as in Portland, Maine. When we reached out to Portland, Maine, they said, please don't send us any more. We're already stretched way beyond our capacity. Now, why would Portland be beyond their capacity? Well, I want to take you back to January of this year when Maine's new governor, Janet Mills, gave her inaugural address.
We welcome the voices of newcomers also to the public conversation. The young, the immigrants, people of different cultures, all are important members of the Maine family. From now on, yes, a sign will greet all those arriving in our state, and it will say simply, welcome home.
Isn't that nice? Well, in Portland alone, asylum seekers who are primarily from African countries make up 90% of the people living in the city-run family and overflow shelters. But back to today. When the San Antonio city manager's request to Portland was turned down, well, the response was jarring. Quote, we're working with them, the migrants, now to identify other cities throughout the United States where they can go and begin their asylum-seeking process. Well, where are these migrants going to be dropped next? Well, that's anyone's guess. But the fact that two cities in two states, thousands of miles apart, are both at capacity should be alarming for all Americans. Now, we reached out to officials in Portland, Maine, and received the following response from a city councilor. Portland is proud to be a welcoming city for all Americans and those seeking to become Americans. At the same time, no city of 67,000 people can possibly manage the entire nation's immigration situation on its own. Wow. We are going to continue to follow this story and others like it and bring you updates, since apparently no one else will.
Now that you see how they were handling migrants before, we have a couple of stories that let you know that Maine is capitulating and that they're going to be moving in a different direction. The first one here is that Maine is winding down its housing programs for asylum seekers. Here it says Maine will end its transitional housing program for asylum seekers by the end of September, citing budget constraints and declined arrivals. Quote, the state decided to conclude the program in September 2025. Thus, no new asylum seekers have moved since January 2025, and emphasis has been on helping remaining families secure rental housing. Since 2022, more than 700 asylum seekers, people who have applied for asylum in the United States and are waiting to have their cases heard by a judge, have been housed at a hotel in Saco. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. With the lease ending in September, organizations are assisting the remaining 29 families find housing. So here we have Maine that is ending its asylum seeker housing. Y'all, I mean, listen, humanitarian, great. If you're a real asylum seeker, great. When I say real, because I know people, you know what I'm saying? I know people who have abused the system. I'm just keeping it real, but I also know people who are really asylum seekers. So don't let any of this that I'm saying make you think that I'm against legitimate, authentic asylum seekers, because there are people out there that do need help, but probably 10% really need the help. 90% are abusing the system. Maine is going in the direction of winding down its program. Now, in addition to that, the legislature has passed a law saying that they are going to limit cooperation with ICE. Now, they have this liberal, I'm calling her liberal. They have this liberal Trump confrontational Governor Janet Mills. You would think she would sign that with glee.
Governor Janet Mills' office is not saying whether she plans on signing a bill passed just this week by the legislature that would restrict how local police can assist federal agents in immigration enforcement.
The legislation would stop police in Maine from detaining or interrogating a person for the sole purpose of determining their legal status in the country. Democrats supporting the bill argue it is a necessary step to prevent local police from assisting with what they see as the Trump administration's violation of the right to due process. Republicans say the bill interferes with the ability of law enforcement actions to combat crime.
Most of them are criminals that we are detaining. We're not just detaining people and checking their papers for random immigration status and then detaining them. Most of these people have warrants for very serious offenses.
These people, really? The Constitution's guarantees of due process and equal protection apply to everyone in the United States, regardless of immigration status.
After a bill is enacted, the governor has 10 days to sign the bill, veto it, or allow it to become law without her signature.
But no, she sees the writing on the wall, and it looks like Governor Mills is saying, oh, pump your brakes there, homeboy. I don't know if I should enact this because this might not be good for my political future. Take a look.
Controversial bill to prevent Maine police departments from collaborating with ICE has reached the governor's desk, but she is not going to sign it. The bill was approved in the House and the Senate last month, but it will be held over until next year's legislative session. Governor Janet Mills can veto it or allow it to become law without her signature, but not until the next session. Officials from the Maine Immigrant Rights Coalition were hoping to see this bill pass, but put immigrants at ease across the state.
We want to make sure that people can still go to work without fear, children can still go to school, people can still go about doing, living their lives. But there's fear around being stopped. There's fear around all that.
In the last few months, the police departments in Wells, Monmouth, and Winthrop all announced agreements to work with ICE. All departments have since withdrawn or put their agreements on pause.
So y'all, I'm saying Maine is capitulating. The budgetary constraints are hurting. The political climate is hurting. And I think Janet Mills is saying, I need to back off of some of this confrontational attitude before it hurts my future political career, whatever that may be. So what do y'all think? Do you agree with me, or am I making too much of this? I think these are politicians. At the end of the day, they really don't care. They care more about what's good for them and their future and maybe some of their buddies. And I don't mean all of them, but many of them, too many of them. Let me know what you think in the comments, y'all. Before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. To my people with a retirement, Go to Paralegal, PARALEGOLD.com. Put in your information. Look at the information that we'll give you about protecting your retirement with gold, the longest, strongest, hardest money that mankind has ever known. Over 5,000 years. And also call my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And we'll see you back in the next one.